So 2013 is a special year for us, but there also was another event that happened in 2013 that was very unique. It actually helped all of us at the time. We may not have realized it, because in 2013, the President of the United States, in his State of the Union address, said, our first priority, do I have charts? There we are. There we go. Our first priority is making America a magnet for new jobs in manufacturing. He then went on to say that 3D printing has the potential to revolutionize the way we make almost everything. And we've heard that over and over again, but for us in the industry, I think that was pretty incredible, because when the president of someone as powerful as he at the time says that, it really makes me think, and it probably got a lot of us thinking as well. My wife Erin and I, that night, on that Tuesday night, we were sitting there in the living room watching the speech, and like many, sort of began to wonder exactly what the future would hold with additive manufacturing. A lot of enthusiasm was going on in the industry. We were super excited about what we were doing at my previous job, and we began to talk about the future of my job, which ultimately led me to come to America Makes. But 3D printing, when he mentioned it, it really wasn't new. But what it was starting to happen for all of us was gaining momentum in the mainstream. It really, while it had been around for decades, started to become a household name. People were very used to hearing the word 3D printing, additive manufacturing, synonymous. But in general, for the first time, everyone was sort of huddled around imagining sort of the what-ifs of 3D printing based on that State of the Union talk. So imagine, if you will, for just a minute, it's 2014, and you're an engineer in the automotive industry, and you're dreaming about a day when one could 3D print an entire car. I'm an engineer, and at the time, I think that would have been a pretty cool imagination. To reduce part counts from thousands to hundreds, with the objective of having flexible, tailored designs for the consumer. Well, in 2014, we all know the story. Local Motors printed and drove over 4 days a car the day named Strata, with lots of different partners, off the showroom floor at the International Manufacturing Technology Show in Chicago, proving the dream a reality. And what really happened then was it changed the way we thought about automotive design, engineering, and manufacturing. So let's fast forward a year. Imagine the scientist in the pharmaceutical industry dreaming about a day when one could 3D print medicine, creating bespoke medications and drugs that have been customized for specific patients and users. No more one-size-fits-all approach to medication. Now, in this example, for the millions of adults and children who suffer each year from certain types of seizures caused by epilepsy, this dream too has become a reality. Because in 2015, the Food and Drug Administration approved a 3D printed pill for the first time for consumer use, opening the door for a future where we might witness a transition from patient prescriptions to patient algorithms. Imagine the student, and we just got through talking about some students, who dreams about one day traveling to Mars, dreams about becoming part of NASA. There's only one problem. Many, many years of formal science, technology, engineering, and math education lies ahead of this person. Fortunately, for one high school senior in Enterprise, Alabama, NASA was holding a Future Engineers and Space Tool Challenge. And in June 2016, at the Marshall Space Flight Center, that dream too became real, as the very first student-designed, multi-purpose precision maintenance tool was printed aboard the International Space Station. And finally, imagine the team that believed one day, finally, significant cost reductions to future aircraft structure would finally be realized with 3D printing of metal alloys like titanium. This year, in 2017, Boeing was able to pass the Federal Aviation Administration's rigorous testing program for components, and is expected later this year to get even a further approvals from the FAA on the material and process, significantly widening the aperture of application implementations. So back to the 2013 State of the Union that I think we all got really excited about. While we, my wife and I, like everyone else, were dreaming about the what ifs, ours was a little different because we were getting ready to move to Youngstown to become part of America Makes, the National Additive Manufacturing Innovation Institute, a grand experiment, some called it, a pilot, as Debbie referred to it, and part of a future vision of a multitude of networked institutes on lots of different advanced manufacturing topics like lightweight metals and digital design. To become part of an organization whose mission is to leverage the most brilliant minds in all corners of government, industry, and academia to accelerate the adoption of additive manufacturing technologies in the United States and to increase domestic manufacturing competitiveness. There are many different interpretations of what America Makes either should be or is currently. And some ideas are close. Many people have come to me and said that they like things that we do and they don't like other things that we do. And lots of people have lots of different ideas about things we should try and do differently. We've looked at the global models that exist, and we like those, but we have a model that's slightly different. And today I would like to propose that we consider moving forward, thinking about America Makes as having three main roles. The first role being an impartial convener of additive manufacturing and 3D printing stakeholders. The second role, a coordinator of technical and workforce information and data. And the third role, an activation catalyst through high value, high difficulty, and high impact projects. We are not built to do every project in additive manufacturing. We're built to bring people together, to catalyze and take action through projects that require action through collaboration. So America Makes is an impartial convener. We're currently 180 members. We are comprised of large business. We have small business. Some may not believe it, but over a third of our membership is actually small business. We have academic institutions. We have government partners like the Department of Defense, Department of Energy, the Department of Commerce, NASA, the National Science Foundation, the Department of Education, the Department of Labor, the FAA, and the FDA. We have nonprofit organizations. And of course, we are a proud part of the Manufacturing USA network. We are local, and we are national, and we are global. We are global with members from all around the world who have incorporated here in the United States with the desire to participate in supporting the mission that I talked about on the previous chart. And while we are very proud of our growth in membership, we think 180 members is extremely positive, especially only being in the industry for 4 years. Those formal engagements that we've created, we believe to be more effective, need to get bigger. We need to continue to serve our role as an impartial convener. We're going to need new avenues for not just existing members to engage, but we need new avenues for non-members to engage as well. So today, America Makes is announcing a new program. And it's a program I hope that many of you can rally around. It's called the America Makes AT program. It's a new way of cultivating a diverse and robust membership community that more broadly represents the additive manufacturing ecosystem in the United States. Because America Makes' desire is to establish more relationships with more organizations working to advance the additive manufacturing industry, bringing more visibility to the current additive manufacturing ecosystem. This program is going to offer cost share credits in lieu of the annual membership dues. Cost share credits in lieu of the annual membership dues. For those activities that you are likely already doing and that align to the mission objectives of America Makes. The AT program makes it easy to achieve these cost share credits, as demonstrated on what we call the cost share menu. This simple and straightforward process allows members and non-members to receive dollar credit for activities that are identified within 5 AT program categories. The first is engage. Attend America Makes members-only events, get involved in a working group, actively participate in an advisory group, and you will receive cost share credits. Number 2, represent. Display your affiliation with America Makes boldly at additive manufacturing events and conferences like this, and you will receive cost share credits. Interact. Install software and hardware at the Innovation Factory in Youngstown, Ohio, and you will receive cost share credits. Advance. Offer discounted services or products to America Makes membership. Provide relevant additive manufacturing content to be included in our weekly newsletter. Or share it with others through our America Makes digital storefront. There you will receive cost share credits. And last is amplify. Promote America Makes and its mission by including it in your marketing efforts, recruit on our behalf, or refer new members, and you will receive cost share credits. We think this is a clever way of bringing more formal engagements to America Makes in a way that supports the mission. As a not-for-profit, we're all about the mission of advancing the industry with which we all love. And that's what this program is intended to do. Again, and in summary, with our mission to increase U.S. competitiveness in the global manufacturing market through additive manufacturing, we believe has to happen through enhanced engagements. For all of us in the room today, likely you have a similar mission, and we want to connect your efforts with ours. So over the next 3 days, please visit our booth, and you'll run into a lady by the name of Tiffany Westbay. She's our membership director, and she'll give you additional information on the specifics around the cost share menu, what dollar amount you'll get as it relates to the different AT program categories I talked about earlier. Now, when we were here in 2013, I'm going to shift just a little bit. We kicked off a human-centered design voice of industry campaign. As a matter of fact, I stood up and talked about a road mapping activity we were getting ready to kick off, and there were about 1/3 of the people in the room. The first day of the conference is where we actually discussed the roadmap that I would be putting together and its purpose of trying to relate who was doing what relative to some common set of objectives. And we started collecting information real time there at the show. But something interesting happened. As we started to collect information, in general, everyone was saying the same thing, in quotes, because they were actually saying things that were very different. They thought they were saying the same thing, but they were really different as you started to kind of peel back the layers. For the most part, different experiences and perspectives had a huge impact on the information quality and the messages that we gathered. That made it very difficult for us to achieve what our objective was, and that was to bring together a common roadmap that we could all rally around. Thus, we quickly partnered with Maya Design. They're located just a few miles from here, maybe less than that. By the way, they're also on this week's tour circuit. I hope maybe you can get a chance to go visit them. And we partnered with Maya Design to do one thing in regards to the roadmap. Establish the foundation from which every roadmap iteration has been built on, the framework. And we did that successfully, and we launched our very first roadmap later in the year. But we needed a robust methodology of gathering and linking all of these different information assets. Now that we had a common decoder ring, we didn't necessarily know how we were going to link the information. So we partnered with a small business by the name of Design Vantage. They're deep experts in systems engineering, and they helped bring a systems engineering methodology to our roadmap framework. Critically important next step. That step is what we actually refer to as the common language. That common language is comprised of two major elements, swim lanes and critical technology elements. And so when you're talking to America Makes, you'll often hear us refer to swim lanes and critical technology elements when we're describing our roadmap. But what these simply are information that everything can link against, as I mentioned earlier. And from there, we needed a tool. We needed a tool to be able to house the information assets. We partnered with Siemens and Deloitte to implement a world-class product lifecycle management tool that we call the America Makes Digital Storefront. The America Makes Digital Storefront is not just a collection of the data. In fact, it's the live connection of the data. It's the live connection of the data to the voice of the industry. So let's go back to the 2013 example I gave at Pittsburgh. It's the ability to connect real-time conversations we're having to the roadmap. And that's what this has been able to create. And it's not just a technology roadmap, it's a technology and a workforce and development roadmap. All projects, their deliverables, their associated artifacts, they're linked to the roadmap through requirements. This is a powerful tool. And it's enabling the membership to access, search, discover, because sometimes you don't know what you're looking for, and consume the intellectual capital assets from a broad and diverse set of stakeholders. All of the members who continue to work with us and they bring information to the table, that diverse set of perspectives and experiences are what you're getting access to, tied back to the technology and workforce and education roadmaps. Joe Veronese will be here this week, and Joe Veronese is our business systems manager and our implementation lead for the digital storefront. I would encourage you to see Joe. He'll give you a live demonstration. He'll show you the 350 some odd requirements that we have in the tool. He'll show you, not all, but over thousands of data artifacts that we have in the tool that you can now see links back to the requirements on. And if you're a member of America Makes, and if you don't know if you are or not, go to americamakes.us, you can take a peek. Go into the membership section, you'll see. Talk to Joe, he'll get you access to it so that you can come in and get what you have the rights to access. When we were here in 2013, the first thing that we had done was made an announcement that we had awarded 8 projects. We were very proud of those 8 projects. We had been around for about 6 months, and we launched those 8 projects with a total investment of about $9 million. And just like Rapid has grown over the last 4 years, our portfolio has grown significantly. 4 years later, we're just shy of $100 million in R&D, spanning 66 projects, involving hundreds and hundreds of different organizations from around the country. Each of those projects are aligned to the technology roadmap and the workforce and education roadmap. We're accomplishing requirements and objectives that we as a community has said together is important. Additionally, we were asked to put together a roadmap on behalf of the Department of Defense, with the Department of Defense. And we did that with the Air Force, the Army, the Defense Logistics Agency, and the Department of Navy. And this was a first ever Department of Defense-wide additive manufacturing roadmap. And the critical takeaway of why this was important is that that was a major step forward in coordination that allowed the public and the private to finally see their information desires on top of one another. And that all was built on the foundation we created with Maya, the systems engineering approach that we did with Design Vantage, and the tool we put in place with Deloitte and Siemens. And lastly, America Makes, with our partner American National Standards Institute, ANSI, we established an additive manufacturing standards and specifications collaborative. You'll hear us talk about that as AMSC. And the AMSC is a cross-sector coordinating body with more than 260 individuals across 150 different organizations specifically established to coordinate and accelerate the development of industry-wide additive manufacturing standards and specifications. And we all know that is extremely important. Look at the program, because later in the week you're going to have an opportunity to participate in a session that's about 3 hours long, if I remember, where you'll get a chance to engage real time with standards that you may have an interest in, and you'll get a chance to influence where those standards go through authorship if you desire. Earlier this year, the AMSC released the standardization roadmap for additive manufacturing, and I would encourage you to go pull that down. You can go pull that down off the ANSI website. All of these roadmaps, as I mentioned earlier, are critically important in relating all of our working capabilities to a common set of objectives. The next two slides are going to highlight a couple of success stories, and I've carefully pulled these out of the portfolio because there were a few things I wanted to highlight. One, I wanted to highlight the public-private model. I wanted to show you the value of the public-private working together in bringing together folks that normally don't work together. Ed Morris, the previous director of America Makes, would refer to this as an unnatural act. And we have a lot of unnatural acts occurring in America Makes for the benefit of the industry. So the first success story that I'd like to share is one that deals with distortion. One of the fundamental challenges, if you work in metal powder bed additive manufacturing, you will understand, is distortion mitigation. This is a major problem we all face. Some of us know how to address it, many of us don't. For those involved with printing metal, you know the ramifications of such distortions. Often you have to build 10 to 15 iterations before you can turn a CAD model into a geometrically accurate part representation. The collaborative project that you see on the screen consisted of extremely technical and competitive original equipment manufacturers. And you see names like GE, Honeywell, and United Technologies Research Center. They also worked with 3D Sim and Autodesk and the CDI Corporation to benchmark, validate, and mature physics-based thermal prediction and mitigation tools for commercialization. Complex geometries that once required up to 4 weeks to analyze can now be completed within a day. The compensation tool was shown to be capable of being used iteratively to ensure design dimensional requirements are met before the first build. As a result, the number of trial builds was reduced by 75%. 75% reduction, from as many as 15 builds down to as few as 2 or 3, greatly reducing the time and cost to develop new part, as well as optimize material usage. Again, trying to highlight the power of the public-private partnership to catalyze the unnatural act and to make advancements that are important for all of us in the industry. The next example is a little different. The next example was supported by a Google.org Impact Challenge grant. America Makes partnered with 3D Veterans, as well as the Department of Veteran Affairs Center for Innovation, to build a pilot program to train and employ veterans and individuals with disabilities in the use of additive manufacturing. The team created and conducted a 6-week additive manufacturing boot camp. That was held in my home state of Texas, San Antonio to be exact, and it was done last fall, 2016. Some in the room were actually a part of that boot camp, and if you were, thank you. Over 70 applications were received for 15 slots, which highlighted to us the enthusiasm that folks had for being able to engage in a formal program like this. And the boot camp consisted of hands-on, project-based additive manufacturing technology and business skill training for U.S. veterans, with each veteran learning how to use 3D design tools and 3D printers to create assistive devices such as a prosthetic hand and a lightweight, affordable ankle attachment for a leg prosthetic. This program was so successful in its pilot that America Makes is doing 3 more of these with the same team. We'll be doing one in Pittsburgh later in the year, and then we'll be doing one in San Francisco and Los Angeles as well. In closing, as Debbie said, America Makes will be celebrating its 5th birthday this August. I've been there since basically the beginning. I think I started 4 months late, so I'm going to say that's the beginning. And time has flown by. And questions have surrounded us about where we are going, the state of America Makes in general, which is what I'm here to talk about, and the future of team-based collaboration in the additive manufacturing industry. I'll tell you, we believe America Makes is stronger than it has ever been. And we're sincere when we say that. The collaboration mechanisms that we have put in place, such as the digital storefront, are working. They're proving that accessing other folks' knowledge is an important aspect of being a member of the Institute. We're expanding the opportunities for engagement through the AT program. And the project-based interactions continue to demonstrate that our scientists, our engineers, and our designers are pushing the envelope of what these amazing process technologies can enable. All of you in the room are doing that. When we were here in 2013, I remember walking to this hall, and only one side of the showroom floor was about half full. Again, it's a testimony to what we're doing as engineers, scientists, designers, business, all aspects. America Makes thanks all that have been involved. Many of you have been involved directly as formal members. Many of you have been involved indirectly. And we know that, and we know there's value there. And we thank you for your help in moving the mission forward. The mission of leveraging the most brilliant minds in all corners of government, industry and academia to accelerate the adoption of additive manufacturing and increase domestic manufacturing competitiveness. Now, we always close with the phrase, and we believe it, and we say, and we hope you will acknowledge the value here, that when America makes, America works. Thank you.